We're good, chap.
Good.
I'll just remind everybody, if you're not asking a question, please be on mute. Thank you.
There we go. All right, chap. Let's start off as broad as possible here. How's camp going? What are you guys seeing out there that you like? What needs to be worked on in the next 3 weeks before Clemson comes to town?
I see a lot of good things. We've really been emphasizing getting the younger guys ready to play, so a lot more rotations going on. I think a lot of the younger guys are looking good. In the tight end room, I think the D line's looking solid. O-line, we're all looking pretty good. So, I think we just got to come in. Obviously, it's a big game, big first game versus the number one team in the country. We just got to come in and be ready for anything, especially with this whole virus thing going on. You never know who's going to not be able to play that week. So I think we've been doing a really good job with that as well.
Is it just this week that practices have kind of been full team and started to feel like an actual fall camp rather than having half the team out there?
So the first week we went A group, B group, and then now we're kind of overlapping the groups, kind of easing into entire team practices.
I'll go. Thanks for the time this morning. Lauren Walsh from WXII. Pretty simple question, but I'm interested in your opinion. Do you feel safe playing football this fall, and why?
Personally, I feel very safe playing football this fall because Coach Clausen implemented the whole bubble thing with us, and we had to come in. We had to quarantine as a team for 2 weeks, and I think our guys are taking it pretty seriously, or actually very seriously for that matter. So I actually feel safer on campus with the guys rather than being anywhere else. So.
Hey, Brandon, thanks again for your time today. How would you characterize the tight end room at this time and kind of like how the reps are being disseminated? I'd have to imagine that you and Blake are getting the bulk of the ones and twos. If that's the case, then kind of behind you two, who's making some plays right now?
I'd say obviously Blake's getting a lot of reps. We got to get him ready to play for the season. We got Connor Hebler, more of a fullback body for us. We've been doing a lot more double tights and victory personnel, and I think that's been looking really good in practice. And obviously Cameron Height, Michael Froeg's looking very good as a freshman. He's got to get in the weight room a little bit, but he's really showing off his intelligence of the offense, and that's really good to see.
Now, if I remember correctly, Michael enrolled early, but only got 5 practices out of the deal. Did he get enough out of spring camp to where he come back in the fall kind of established, or was he still like a brand new freshman still?
I myself, I was an early enrollee, and I know that first spring was so crucial and helped me develop as a player. I think him losing that time definitely didn't help him that much, but him being he's a hardworking, determined kid, and we did these Zoom calls, the tight end Zoom calls, and he would always be so engaged, and he'd always text me questions about the offense. So there's no question in my mind that he was studying on his own. So he looks great.
Brandon, I saw the photo you tweeted a couple days ago from the photo shoot, team photos. You look kind of massive, to be honest with you, Brandon. What are you from a size perspective now versus when you first got on campus?
So when I first got on campus, I was about the same weight. I was about 255 pounds, and they weren't exactly sure if I was going to be an offensive lineman or a tight end or what I was going to be. But I think I slowly started changing my body into more lean mass, and working on slimming down and getting faster. So I came in kind of like a neutral O lineman tight end, and I think I've transformed into more of a tight end at this point.
Brandon, 2 questions. Number one, tight end has become a pretty prominent position in this offense, especially with Cam and Jack the last few years. You got a lot of playing time last year, but what does it feel like to step up and be the man, number one? And number two, pancake block or touchdown catch?
Well, stepping in and being the man this year is definitely something that was one of my goals since I've been here. Obviously, Cam Serenay, Jack Verdenthal, amazing tight ends. I learned so much playing behind them, and they're great people. I still keep in contact with them. And to answer your question, golly, I'd love to score a touchdown. That's nothing like that feeling. Even though pancakes are nice too.
So you're a tight end and not an O lineman. Okay.
Yeah. I passed your test.
Brandon, you mentioned some of the guys, the younger guys, being impressive during practice. Who were some of those guys on the offensive side of the ball?
At quarterback, Michael Kern, he's throwing some good balls. He's dropping some dimes. O-line, one of the freshmen that's really been standing out in my eyes is George Sell. He's been getting after it. He's another early enrollee guy. And obviously, as I said, Michael Frogue. And I think some of the wide receivers, Nolan Gruel, Taylor Marin, those kids, they're doing really well. I feel like every time I look over, I see Taylor scoring in the red zone. So nothing but bright futures ahead of this offense.
Speaking of the wide receivers, it's going to be important for them to step up with the news of Sage sitting out this year, preparing for the NFL draft. Have you seen them since that announcement kind of take a step forward because they know what's going to be ahead of them?
Oh, yeah, definitely for sure. I hear Coach Higgins getting on him already. Donovan Green, he's going to be a heck of a player for us this year. Jaquari Roberson, they've all been looking really good this camp, but now that Sage is gone, the reins are handed to them, and I have no question they're gonna play really well this year.
Got time for two more for Brandon.
And speaking of,
this is Aaron Beard. Oh, go ahead, Connor.
Speaking of Sage, and he's such an integral part of the offense last year, and now that he's not back, and I think it's now the top 5 receivers from last year's team are all gone. There's a lot of balls to go around. Like, how does that production get replaced?
Next guy up. That's been the motto this whole year. So, Coach R's got a lot of good plays up his sleeve, and the open guy's going to get the ball.
Brandon, this is Aaron Beard with the AP. I sort of to follow up on that. How long is it going to take, you think, with so much change offensively to build chemistry, timing, those things that come a lot of times when guys have played together in the same positions for a long time? It's a little different now with a lot of the changes you guys have had.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think the offseason had a big thing for that. Obviously, Jamie's gone. We've had Sam, and Sam's been here. He's been the guy. We've had so many different route sessions together. I have no question. We're out there. I think our chemistry is fine. I think it's going to be guns blazing come September 12th.
All right. Thanks, Brandon.
Thank you. Yeah.
We've got Boogie Basham here next, and then we'll just open it up for questions whenever you guys are ready.
Still move. Oh, no.
And then, as a reminder, please have your screen on mute if you're not asking any questions. I believe Sam Davis, right now, you're not on mute. Thank you.
What's up, Boogie?
What's up? How you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. I guess just let's start broad. How's fall camp been going? You've been on the field now for what, 2 weeks?
Yeah, I feel like this year's camp is a little different. You know, the flow is I say way better than the years previous, just because of all the time that we have off, kind of. But I say so far, our camp is going pretty good all around.
What was your reaction earlier this week when you heard about Sage choosing not to play this year?
You know, I was kind of shocked, but also, you know, it's just he thought it was best for him, so you know, I'm going to support him. Me and Sage are pretty good friends, and you know, as a friend, you got to support him no matter what happens. So you know, I'm always there for him.
Is that a decision that you've had to think about making? I know you're here now, but like, is that a thing that you thought about doing at some point?
No, I've had people reach out and ask me that question. You know, I kind of just shied away as of, you know, that's not what I'm thinking about right now. I'm thinking about the first game. That's pretty much all that's going through my mind right now.
Hey, Boogie, thanks for the time today. Lauren Walsh from WXII. Pretty simple question. Do you feel safe playing this fall, and why?
Yeah, I feel very safe. You know, the bubble we created here since July has been great. You know, I know me personally, it's safer here than back home, and I know that's the case for a lot of guys on the team. So I feel pretty safe playing.
Hey, Boogie, it's Les, man. Thanks for the time. I appreciate it. Your defensive line brings back 7 different guys who started last season, bring back a lot of talent and experience. How do all these guys mix in together, and what kind of results do you think you all can achieve this year?
I know Coach Cohen and Coach CJ, they're doing a great job of mixing matching the lineups, trying to figure out who works best with who. You know, bringing all those guys back, that's a lot of experience coming back into a D-line room. I feel like it's going to be – it's a great battle right now, just seeing all the guys going back and forth, back and forth. You know, I'm looking forward to seeing those guys, you know, going out on the field and bring the same energy that we do to practice to game day.
Is this an area where Coach Cohen has the ability to be real, I guess, situational with the personnel? You know, different people have different strengths. So when you've got, you know, 7 to 9 guys who can give you good reps, doesn't that lend itself to some situational substitutions?
I say it also lends to that, but it also lends to, you know, if a guy gets tired, you know, we have, you know, probably 3 other guys who can play the same position who come in and give just as much as effort as the guy before did.
How's Suleiman been this camp?
He's doing good, you know. That's my boy. You know, we've been here 5 years together, and he's came a long way. I've seen him make some good strides, bad strides, but I feel like this year, this is the best version of Sue I've seen.
Boogie, what strides?
You said what kind of strides?
What were the bad ones? Like,
oh, the bad ones, you know, just, you know, bad days of, you know, bad attitude, you know, days where, you know, something's not going right. You know, some guys just got to, you know, pick them up, you know, tell them it's all right. Those days will come.
But those days are in the past, and now he has the good days.
Yeah, those days are definitely in the past. I feel like this is like a great version of Sue.
Okay. Sorry, Eddie.
You're good, buddy. Boogie, that depth that you have at the D-line, I mean, how important is that for you guys getting ready for this ACC conference?
I feel like that's, you know, that's a big thing because, you know, this year's going to be more important than ever of next guy up because, you know, of COVID going on, you never know who's not going to be able to play this year. So I feel like us having that depth is also an advantage to us.
Is that something that's in the back of your mind? Brandon kind of mentioned that too, just week to week guys who may, you know, with this COVID going on. Is that something that you guys are thinking about?
Yeah, I feel like, you know, the guys in the room, they're aware of what's going on, but they also know that if they're not able to play, there's nothing to worry about that. The guy behind them is just going to do just as well.
Well, yeah, I have to ask, as we've seen other colleges get in session the last couple of weeks, things haven't necessarily gone well. Like, you know, UNC's had to close down early. NC State's had to close down early. You know, we've seen videos of parties across various campuses. what sets like the Wake Forest football team kind of apart versus what we're seeing, across the country with the regular student body at large? Why have you all been able to stay virtually virus free and been able to practice every day?
I feel like for us, we know what's at hand. A lot of us have put so much work into it, and I see that the younger guys, they're kind of, getting on around wings, seeing how much work the seniors have put in. And, they want us to have a season just as much as they do. So I feel like I just feel like we're doing a better job than most of the country.
When we talked to Coach Clausen, he mentioned that it's been a unique timeline in terms of leadership, that usually players have spring ball to step up and maybe be more vocal, but that he named you as someone who has actually capitalized on this coronavirus gap into fall camp, and that you've stepped up. So how has that process been for you, and how do you feel as though you've grown as a leader?
I say for me personally, I'm not the guy that's in the front loud and everything, but since COVID happened, just checking in on guys, who needed to be checked in on. Just like the younger guys who look up to me, send them a text here and there, how you doing, you need anything, stuff like that. So I feel like that was a big step for me also. And then coming into camp, just keep going of what I was already doing, bringing guys to the side, talking to them here and there. Not they do something wrong, not pointing them out in front of the whole group, more of just take them to the side, ask them what they was thinking, and then give them advice, and then tell them to go out there and just do their best.
Boogie, you mentioned earlier having your mind on Clemson, but that wasn't the case until a couple weeks ago. What was your mindset on, you're getting ready to play Old Dominion in the opener, and all of a sudden you're going to play Clemson?
I feel like for me that's a great opportunity. They kind of got after us the last couple of years here, and I feel like this year, we're both fresh. We're both dealing with these tough times. So I feel like this would be a great opportunity for both of us.
Boogie, this is Aaron Beard with the AP. Is there more pressure on the defense to kind of maybe carry a little bit of the load early on? There's so many changes on offense, and it may take them time to sort of kind of click together. You guys, there's a lot more experience on defense. Does that put more pressure on you guys to kind of fill up that gap until they come up to speed?
I feel like there's really no pressure. The offense, they have a lot of guys who played a lot of ball, and I feel like us, we have a lot of guys also. But the offense, they're doing a great job. Coach R, quarterbacks, wide receivers, running backs, even the O-line, they're doing a great job of doing extra stuff every day to be better. So I feel like we don't have to carry so much pressure.
And just to follow up on that, what do you think this defensive unit is going to be maybe the strongest at?
Strongest, I'd probably say probably rundown. We have a lot of hard hitters, guys who like putting their faces in the gaps. And also I feel like third down is also another strength of us also. Guys come off the edge, guys in coverage. So I feel like ultimately this whole defense is going to be good.
Boogie, good to see you. Two things. I saw an article recently that labeled you the number 2 athletic freak in the country, which I would think you would take as a compliment if you saw it. How do you feel about that, number one? And number 2, have you ever looked at any before and after, what you came in as a youngster and what you look like now and what you can do now? And how did you get to this point?
I would say when I came in, I was probably 250, skinny. I was a basketball player in high school. So now I'm like 275, nowhere near skinny. So I feel like me is just molding into my body over these years of being here. All the lifting we did, Coach Horgan, they did a great job with me. And then it's just, eating good was probably a big point of that also.
We have time for 2 more for Boogie.
Oh, what would you say, Larry? I didn't hear you.
The athletic freak part?
Oh, athletic freak. I've kind of always been pretty much athletic my whole life. For me, that's just nothing surprising. Kind of, it's just more of people starting to notice. Kind of.
Thanks.
Boogie, what was the hardest thing to cut out of your diet?
Hardest, I'd probably say hardest thing is probably candy.
Were you a big candy guy, and then you got to Wake and Oregon smack those out of your hand, or what's the story there?
More high school, I used to, before every game, I have a bag of Skittles, and then coming here trying to do that was terrible for me.
Was that like a Marshawn Lynch thing, or just you like Skittles?
I just like the Skittles, I feel like in high school they gave me a little rush, and then I started doing it here, and I just felt terrible, so I just had to cut it out.
Hey, Boogie,
I like
I know
Skittles,
that.
too.
Hey, Boogie, I know that when we talked in the spring, if I remember correctly, you had like a sack goal in mind for the season. Now that the season's been truncated a little bit, what are your new goals for this season?
I got the same goals. Just because of something happened, that's not going to change my goals.
Last one for Boogie.
I'll just build on that. What are those goals for the season, both personally and as a team?
I said my personal goals is to break both the sack and tackle for loss record, and then for this season is just to be the best defense in the country.
Thanks, Boogie.
Yep.
Thanks, Boogie.
We've got Zach Tom here next, and we'll open it up for questions as soon as you guys are ready.
What's up, Zach?
What's up? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you.
Good to talk to you.
Sarah, you too.
I'll lead off again, guys. Nobody else. All right. Zach, you were one of, I think, 3 returning starters for the offense, and now that number becomes 2 with Sage's news earlier this week. What was your reaction to that news, and what further adjustments does the offense need to make before Clemson comes to town?
Yeah. I fully support his decision. I mean, everybody's got to do what's best for them. So, I mean, he's obviously made a decision that he felt was best for him. So I fully support him in that way. And in terms of how we make up for that, I mean, it's always a next man up mentality. So whoever it is has to come in and perform.
Can there really be a next man up, though? Like, Sage had 1,000 yards in 9 games last year, 11 touchdowns. Like, that can be replaced.
Yeah. Sage was obviously a phenomenal player. So, I mean, somebody's got to step up and make plays to be able to fill the void. So.
Hey, Zach, this is Aaron Beard with the Associated Press. I'm curious, when you have so many changes on offense, how long do you think it's going to take for like the unit to sort of build that chemistry to kind of get clicking? A lot of times that can only come through game experience a lot of times to really be at your best. So where do you kind of think things stand now and how long it's going to take?
I mean, it'll probably take some time. I feel like we're getting there, but we still have 3 more weeks and we still have a ways to go for where we need to be. So, I mean, obviously, we got to keep working, practicing full speed to get the timing down and all that. So hopefully within the next few weeks, we can get that chemistry down.
To follow up, what do you think this unit's identity might be? Obviously with so many changes, how much do you think that part will change too about maybe what this unit does best?
I mean, I don't think much. I think we have I think we have people that are young guys that are coming up that are prepared to make plays. So I don't think our identity is going to change that much this year from where it was last year.
Hey, Zach, thanks for your time today. I really appreciate it. Your offensive line is a unit that's lost a trio of redshirt seniors each of the last 2 seasons. You come back this year and you're like the main top guy, one of the most experienced guys on the offensive line. How has that changed the dynamic for you and have you had to take on more of a leadership position?
Yeah. I've tried to be more of a leader this year to try and fill that void. Obviously, losing 3 redshirt seniors, there's going to be a hole in leadership. So I've tried to fill that void and try and help the young guys to develop, because obviously this year we'll probably need them more than ever.
Has doing that and taking that mantle been more difficult since you guys have been apart for such a long time, Zach?
Yes, definitely. This is obviously not a normal year, so it's definitely. I've tried to be more proactive in my leadership these past few weeks to try and become the better leader.
Hey,
So with
Zach.
the loss of those 3 seniors, Zach, will the Beef Boys moniker live on, or will you guys come up with it?
The Beef Boys moniker will live on. That's something that we take a lot of pride in. So, yeah, we're gonna keep that going.
Excellent.
Hey, Zach. Thanks for the time. Lauren Walsh from WXII. Quick little request so we can get your face on TV. Do you mind just tilting the laptop screen down a little bit just so we can get you in there? Great. Perfect. So kind of a straightforward question for you. Do you feel safe playing this fall, and why?
Yes, I do feel safe. Our medical experts here have a plan, and I'm fully confident in that plan. And I feel like we have guys here that are taking it seriously and wearing masks and all that. So I definitely feel safer here than I would otherwise.
And when we spoke to Coach Clausen earlier, he named you as someone who has stepped up as a leader. And he mentioned this hasn't been your normal leadership development with spring football and everything. So how have you navigated this coronavirus period into camp, and how do you feel as though you're stepping up?
I've tried to, watch film with like the younger guys and try and help them develop their game. I've tried more than ever this year to actually get to like know the younger guys. And so I feel like in that way I've stepped up as a leader this year.
Zach, I'm curious, when you have again with the changes, how much are you guys maybe working at different positions on the line to sort of maybe be ready for adjustments, whether it's injuries or if someone was diagnosed positive with COVID and you had to adjust? Are you guys moving around in camp?
Yeah. We're all playing pretty much everybody's playing at least 2 different positions in preparation for the fact that some guys might not be able to go in certain weeks. So yeah, versatility is really important this year.
Along those lines, Zach, how's the offensive line like meetings being done right now? Because like the last thing you'd want is the entire offensive line to catch COVID all at the same time, I would imagine. Has there been any changes in the way you guys meet?
Well, our meeting room is pretty big, so like we're able to fit the whole unit in there and spread out. So obviously we use the whole room, so nobody's ever too close to each other for too long of a time. So in that way we're able to prevent like potential spread of the disease.
When we're looking at the depth chart and in terms of how the offensive line is coming together this fall, once again, you lost 3 redshirt seniors. All 3 of them signed NFL deals. You lost a lot of experience and talent. And then you had a short spring camp. So how do you guys go about filling those holes in time for Clemson, and how's that coming along so far?
It's good. Like we have people in our room that are filling those voids. Like Loic, I think, is becoming a really good leader. I'm trying to become a really good leader. So I think in those ways, we're trying to use this camp as a time for us to like establish ourselves as leaders in preparation for the season.
Hey, Zach, how's that chemistry gone between building that chemistry on the O-line? How's that gone here in practice?
It's going fine. We're obviously obviously I mentioned the versatility, so you're not really playing with the same other four guys as you would be maybe in other years. So it's definitely a work in progress, but I think we're progressing well.
Zach, are you still working at left tackle? Like that was the plan in the spring, and we kind of got some glimpses of that. But it's been 5 months, and you guys are in the camp now. Is that still the plan?
Yes, I'm still working at left tackle. Yeah.
Last question from Zach.
Assuming Terrence Davis is healthy and out there with you, is he the one next to you, left guard? And if he is, how's it working out trying to build chemistry with him?
Obviously, no decisions have been made yet. But yeah, I think Terrence is doing really well. I think he looks really good out there in camp.
Thanks, Zach.
Thanks, Zach. Appreciate you. We've got Ryan Smenda here for you guys. And again, please stay on mute if you're not asking questions. And we'll start whenever you guys are ready.
What's up, Brian?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm good. Can't complain.
Good. I'm gonna give Connor a break with leading off here, but I'll start with the same general question. How's fall practice been for you guys so far?
So far it's been a little different, because of Corona, but our team's pushing through, and we're getting up every day with the mindset that, we never know, when we might get the call to, shut it down or whatever. But we're just taking every day and trying to do our best and go out there with 100% at practice. And we got the mindset that we're playing on September 12th, so that's just what it is.
You never know when you might get the call to shut it down. Have you looked at kind of seeing, what's going on in the ACC and other universities where they've gone to online or had to take breaks from practice as well?
Not really. I really haven't been paying that much mind. I just wait until Coach Clausen, comes in and, feeds us the information. But, I think I'm pretty confident that the other universities are doing everything in their power to, play on the same date. So, yeah.
Hey Ryan, this is Aaron Beard with the AP. A lot of defensive experience back. How good do you think this unit can be with a lot of the guys that have played a lot of reps before, and particularly when there's an offense that has so much change, there could be a lot that maybe the defense needs to take the lead on to kind of get you guys off to a good start.
I think we can be really good. We got a lot of guys. Our front seven especially is very experienced. And I think once we really find that true rock in our defense, that true leader, we go out there and play Clemson, then once we start to feed off each other and really start to come together, I think we're going to be a top 5 defense, to be honest. And it's going to be, difficult because we got a lot of hoops to jump through with, who's going to be, backups or whatever. But I think right now we're sitting in a very good position with depth and health. So Coach Clausen's trying to do a really good job of keeping us healthy. So I think if we can go into the Clemson game, with these guys, I think we have a really good chance.
Hey, Ryan, thanks for spending some time with us today. I appreciate it. How would you describe the linebacker room to people who haven't been at practice? It seems like, although you lost Justin, it looks like maybe the deepest group of linebackers that Wake's had in quite a few years. Can you explain how that's going?
It's going really good. we got some leaders in there that are trying to push the younger guys, get them ready, get them going. And I think we're such a tight-knit group because now we've been together for, 2-3 years now. Some other guys older going into their 5th year, but as we've just kind of grown to be a brotherhood and a family, and it's gotten so much easier to communicate with one another when we're out there on the field saying, hey, we got to do this and this when this happens. And, we've just been able to – I think the biggest piece is communication. And, that's the biggest thing that's, we've tried to grow and build upon through the years.
Ryan, what new thing do you want to talk about first, your number or your hair?
I mean, I had this freshman year, but
Really?
yeah, I had it freshman year, and then I cut it off. But as far as my number goes, I just thought 5 was cool, so nothing real specific.
Are you like more aerodynamic, or it's just a number?
Just a number. Got to make it what it is,
Ryan, on the other side of that communication point, you're a little bit younger behind you in the defensive backfield, and usually those are guys that see everything in front and make a lot of calls and do a lot of talking. Is that talking going on from the backside, and does that change at all what you guys are doing in the middle?
Yes, sir. So, yeah, the guys in the back are younger, but, we kind of put the mentality that, it doesn't matter how old you are. You got to get in the film. You got to know what you're doing. And, when the pieces come out and, they make the checks, then we all got to echo the same thing, whether it's right or wrong. We'd rather all be wrong together and on the same page versus, some guys being on a different page. But I've been trying to help the guys, say, like, if this and this happens, like, I'll try to handle it because obviously I'm more experienced than them. But I try to tell them, just, like, see it for what it is and call it. You don't got to really overthink it that much. So, I'm just trying to incorporate some of the values that I took from guys like Justin, guys like Camo Glenn, those guys, just trying to tell them, just take it one snap at a time and get the call in and, let's be proficient, let's be sound with it.
Is there time for you to see something maybe that they don't and still communicate it back to them, especially in this day against an offense similar to yours?
If they're not going tempo, from experience, I can tell you that, I try to see everything, as the Mike linebacker. That's kind of my job. But if they're going fast, then that's going to be more on them because, I got to see what's in the box, see, the formations and things like that. But, yeah, when they're going fast, it gets a little complicated. So it's going to really be on the back end to step up and make the calls.
Thanks.
Hey, Ryan, thanks for the time today. Lauren Walsh from WXII. Pretty straightforward question to start. Do you feel safe playing this fall and why?
I absolutely feel safe. One, because, I trust the guys on the team, to wear the mask, social distance, and I also trust the medical experts that have given us this plan, given us these tools. We got these masks in our helmets. We got this and that. They spray the thing. So, I'm very confident in what our plan is to win and to compete this year. And, I just hope that, all the other universities can also follow suit with their plan as well.
And as a follow-up, what does a successful season look like for you and for Wake Forest football as a whole?
For me personally, undefeated for Wake Forest football, is also undefeated. I think that's the ultimate goal. Undefeated, if not ACC championship, and that's nothing less.
Hey, Ryan, walk me through an average day during the pandemic in Florida with you and your brother, Austin.
Shoo. Well, actually, he hasn't been home yet. He's been up in South Dakota still, but an average day at home, wake up about 10 o'clock. I got training at 11:30 with my mask on. And then after training, I go home and make a nice meal, take a nap, and then I got another training session later that day for footwork. And then I put my mask back on, and then I try to get some quality time in with the boys.
So you didn't play a lot of video games. You actually got some work in during this time.
Ton of work. I really only play Madden. That's like my favorite game ever.
Along those lines, you were a state champion wrestler in Florida. And, like Sage, for instance, was a prolific basketball player. You could pick up a basketball and play whenever, right? What does a state champion wrestler do to kind of quench that thirst? You can't just start wrestling somebody, can you?
Sometimes we like to joke around in the locker room, but we can't really do that right now. So I kind of just got to get my frustrations out on the field.
To follow up on the mask question, the mask situation, have you seen many guys going to shields as well as the masks? Has there been any
Yes, sir.
increase
In the
that?
walkthroughs, when we do our walkthroughs later in the day, we have the mask and the shields on just because we don't have a helmet and we're in very close contact with one another. So it's mainly like the D-line and the coaches, they really have the mask and the shield on.
So how about with the shield inside the helmets?
No, we have
Yeah.
our equipment managers, they've developed a mask that Velcros inside of your helmet. So that way all you have to do is just take it off and then we pull up our another mask we have on. And then when we put the helmet back on, it's already on our helmet.
Okay.
Ryan, with students moving back this week, have you kind of been a little more wary of going places and seeing people without masks on?
Yeah, with the student population, I mean, you just Coach Clausen described it as we're in the Wake Forest bubble, and then we have our own Wake Forest football bubble. So, we ride around, we see people with no masks on and things like that, but, we just got to stay more than 6 feet away from them and try to do our best to keep it within our own football bubble. We try to just not really pay any mind to it.
It's kind of hard to ignore sometimes, though, isn't it? Like if you see a bunch of people out with no masks on, it's already.
Yeah. So yesterday I was actually doing my laundry, and some kids actually had the campus police roll up on them, and they told them all to put their masks on. So I think they're cracking down hard, and they're trying to make sure that that the semester of academics is fulfilled and sustained, and another to keep everybody healthy and to try to have a new normal, but as normal as possible, just with a mask on.
Got time for one more for Ryan?
Hey, Ryan, in terms of the linebacker room, who do you think is the guys that are going to be playing a lot right next to you? And then is there one or two guys further down the depth chart that we're going to see make plays this season that we might not be thinking about right now?
I'm going to be honest, don't be surprised if all of us are out there making plays. I think we're that good at linebacker that we can all go out there and know the system and play it well.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, buddy.
And that's all that we have for today. We'll try and schedule something again next week, and then Will and I will follow up with you guys in terms of who that'll be. So I appreciate you guys taking the time today, and let us know if you have any questions.
Thanks, Andrew.
Thank you, Andrew.
Yep. Have a great day.